Welcome to the Ringside Podcast. I'm Daniel Spencer.
I'm Eric Cornish.
And I'm Linda Kay.
All right, guys, we're coming to you on a special edition. Unfortunately, Jeremy's not with us. He had some other obligations, but special edition of the Ringside this week. We are premiering this today or on Monday, right before Raw. And but we could go live on Tuesday because we kind of are live on Tuesday, just in a different format. Eric, what are we doing Tuesday?
It is Thanksgiving Thunder 2023 at the world famous but new look Davis Arena. And even the folks that showed up Thursday night were treated to some brand new features to the Davis Arena. But if you thought that was all, it's not done yet. I walked in there 2 days later and it already looks different even more. So so it's going to be even bigger for Thanksgiving Thunder Tuesday. Linda, you haven't been there for a while, so you're going to be really shocked at what you see.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked at what I saw last week on WWE TV, and wow, I mean, I've heard about what's been happening, but seeing it and then actually being there to witness it live in the flesh as everybody else will, if you make it to Thanksgiving Thunder.
Yeah, if you make it to Thanksgiving Thunder. By the
way,
were
you the one that sang that theme? It sounds like it was you.
Maybe.
By the way, guys, there are, because of the renovations and changes, a few more seats opened up. Watch I say this as we're recording this, it could already be sold out, but just in case, go to OV.
We lost you, Daniel. Your mic cord, something happened. We lost you.
Nope.
I got nothing. We got nothing at all. Zero. Man, this is going to be the best show ever, Linda. Anyway. We'll let him get that worked out. But in the meantime, as he was saying, use the code Ringside when there are tickets available for that show or any other show with OVW, and you can save a little money there. So, and also, you help us out in the meantime. And we are the official podcast of OVW. But I did have a chance to talk to some unofficial folks. They even have T-shirts that say unofficial, so I don't know what all that's about. But I guess those guys are cool with being number two. What can I say? No, you guys keep doing what you're doing. Yes. Awesome stuff over there, and we appreciate you covering what we do at OVW. So thank you very much. Maybe Daniel will get back here in a little bit. But
there he is. I say something. No. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. He's saying something, but I don't know.
We'll follow up. Okay, well, I was going to say to follow up what you were saying, Eric, what Daniel was trying to say about the tickets and using promo code Ringside. Anytime you want tickets to Davis Arena, get that special discount. Make sure to lock those tickets in. As you know, we've been selling out show after show after show, so you don't want to miss out. And as Daniel just briefly mentioned, Thanksgiving Thunder was previously sold out, and at this point when this is airing, it might be sold out again, but due to those renovations, more tickets opened up. So make sure to lock in, get those tickets, ovwrestling.com if you don't have them already. And if you don't make it out to Thanksgiving Thunder tomorrow night, of course, every Thursday night, come and see the new Davis Arena.
There you are.
Yay, perfect timing.
I got to get this new mic cord. I don't know why it's driving me crazy. But anyways, yes, everything you guys were saying, I heard it all. OVWrestling.com. Use promo code Ringside. And what I was going to say is if you, for some reason, don't get tickets to the show and you have to miss out on Thanksgiving Thunder because there's either sold out or you're just not able to make the plans because of Thanksgiving, you can always use that promo code for other tickets on any other Thursday night, as well as use that code for the show that we talked about, the breaking news that we brought to your attention last week, that the scoop that we got on the Christmas Chaos being the first pay-per-view in close to 4 years outside of the Davis Arena at the Louisville Slugger Field. And it's gonna be pretty awesome. So on Saturday, December the 16th, you can use it there. And already front row and ringside is sold out. We still got second row and some general admission. So those tickets are going fast too. So hurry up, guys, and get those tickets.
Good news is we can, being at that we're inside that venue, and we're not outside at Slugger Field, by the way. It's inside the Hall of Fame there. Yes. We've got twice as many folks we can fit in, if not a little more than that. So that's good than we normally can at the Davis Arena. So So looking forward to that. That's December the 16th. That will be the final live OVW show that you can go to in the year 2023.
And the other thing too is that something that those of you that have been watching OVW on TV, you can now watch us live on YouTube instead of just Fight TV. And YouTube, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, YouTube, you get like all when we go to commercial break, you still get the show right there, whether it's Eric talking to the crowd or whether it's you know, a match, you still get live the live action. So pretty cool to watch that on YouTube, and you can interact with OVW talent, and not talent, but OVW staff, as well as all the fans watching around the world while you're doing that.
I enjoyed doing that this week. I thought that was kind of cool when they told me, they were like, by the way, you're still live on YouTube. Cool. I got to talk to not only my friends there at Davis Arena, but I got to talk straight to the folks watching at home. And that's the only time you can see it is when it's live on YouTube, because as soon as the show's over, it's gone, and then you get the regular version later on YouTube. You don't get that live version unless you're watching it live as it happens. So which kind of get to see what happens behind the scenes, you know.
By the way, speaking of that, those that are watching this premiere of this episode right now live on YouTube and Facebook and all that, you're probably wondering why we're not interacting with you guys in the chat. That's because you can still chat with each other, but unfortunately this is pre-recorded, so we're not live. That's, I just want to give that a heads up. But thank you so much for still watching, sharing, retweeting the whole 9 yards. We appreciate that. We'll be back live on our normal format next week here, and we'll probably have Jeremy with us and maybe a special guest. Who knows? Maybe we'll surprise Jeremy with his one of his hated rivalries or something.
His nemesis. I don't know.
Nemesis, we'll maybe we'll do that.
But I just wanted to add on that whole YouTube live factor, because that's how I did watch it, and I thought it was so cool. I mean, not just the renovations that we got to see for the first time. I mean, like the majority of what's been done so far, but just that feature. And I had even some friends just telling me like, hey, this is really cool. Like because they subscribe to OVW Wrestling on YouTube, and they got that alert, and they're like, wow, this is new. And I'm like, yeah, it's so easy. Just, you get that alert, you click right in. But also the in-between stuff, I enjoyed watching. Now, of course, I always enjoy watching you right along ringside, but just watching it from a whole nother spectrum, and just, just like how everything's flowing together with this new feature. I just thought it was really cool as well.
Yeah, I had a good time with that. So it'll be adjusting a little bit to being able to talk to those folks, being able to talk to everybody watching at home, and it's kind of neat. So you'll get to kind of experience that with me, hopefully very, very soon.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Thunder.
Yeah. Thanksgiving Thunder. It's infectious.
Yeah, it is. What's funny is that I still don't understand how muscle cars go with Thanksgiving, but hey, whatever, it works, I guess. It is Thanksgiving Thunder.
You've obviously never been to my Thanksgiving, so there.
Oh, there we go. Okay, well, there
I don't know.
You're right.
I'm just
or well, yeah, no comment. By the way, you know what? I thinking, this is kind of a different show, interesting show. I kind of. As we're leading up until Thanksgiving here in America, I guess I think Canadians do Thanksgiving on a different day, and then I don't know about around the world how they handle Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, I'm only up to our culture here, but something that we're going to talk about. Full Gear that happened over the weekend. We're going to talk about leading up to Survivor Series, which is always Thanksgiving's like. The Thanksgiving tradition, right? We're going to talk about a little bit more about Thanksgiving Thunder later in the day. And we're probably going to, talk a little bit about some other things going on. But one of the things I think would be cool to kind of, we do this kind of an off format. I know we didn't talk about it before, but, why don't we as Ringside Podcast kind of say what we're all thankful for, kind of in our lives and stuff. So kind of figure we go from there. So Eric, why don't we lead with, actually, you know what? Linda, let's go with you, ladies first on this. What kind of throw us out there some things you're thankful for here at Ringside.
Yeah, I mean, 2023 has had a lot of fun things happening, a lot of travels, a lot of, not just to the Ohio Valley and seeing your wonderful faces and our wonderful fans that I've gotten to know over the years, but just getting opportunities to be a part of other shows throughout the country, flying, out. So I'm just to also see some of my favorite events. I flew out to LA this year, being a part of WrestleMania weekend. That was very, very cool. And seeing some friends, like I just going to Mania, it's interesting. You see some other friends now that we're all fans of the business, and then you just kind of maintain those friendships. You meet up and you're at the biggest event of the year, and it's just so much fun. So that was a highlight of earlier in the year. And then just getting to, let me just point out the wrestlers Netflix show. I mean, seeing that finally come about and come to fruition, and just reminiscing about what a great time I've had on just with everybody involved. And again, the two of you, like being a part of this podcast more, I'm very grateful for that. And of course with Jeremy, of course. And also I want to just mention just OVW as a whole. I mean, this will be my 4th year. I started at OVW in the Nightmare Rumble in 2021. So that was 1 full year, 2 full year, 3 full years. And now it's just, you guys are family. And so I honestly am just very, very grateful for this, and just being a part of something so many people love, and just getting to share my love for this as well. And of course, my family and friends back home as well.
That's good. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Eric?
Well, I've got a wonderful family, and I can't say enough about, my wife, who lets me play wrestling and do all that stuff. And she's, admittedly she's not a fan, but she respects my passion for it. So, so I've got a wonderful support base there. My 2 kids, who I've had a daughter that has always been into wrestling since day one. And I love that. And now my son is magically a fan, which makes me happy as well. So now my wife's just outnumbered, but I got a chance to, and we'll talk maybe a little bit later on in the podcast about, I got to take my son to SmackDown this past Friday. So that was really cool. So love my family, but as you mentioned, like our wrestling family, Linda, it really is pretty awesome. Like this has been not a great year for me, personally. A lot of things personally and professionally just was not the best year, and if I didn't have OVW and wrestling, I think I would have probably just fallen apart completely. You know what I mean? It's a weird thing to say, but it really is. Like everything that OVW is to me, and just the wrestling world in general with all you guys, it keeps me sane in a crazy world, which is so weird to think. But even, now, Linda, you and I have become so close, and not only are we colleagues, but we're friends. And, Daniel and I we hung out last night with some other friends, from OVW. So you guys are another family. And so I absolutely, wrestling is what has made this year not a complete failure in my eyes. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thankful for.
Yeah, man, you kind of hit the nail right on the head for me as well. Believe it or not, this week alone, it's not, and it just doesn't, because it's Thanksgiving. It just so happens that organically things in my life has caused me this week to really reevaluate and appreciate things that I'm grateful for. I know Chris Van Vliet always does this on this podcast. Like every episode, he talks about being grateful, and I love that. And that's just, he does that January through December, not just in November. But I've really, like, as you were saying, this year has not been even though I've done some pretty freaking amazing cool things in 2023, from the matches and the things I've been a part of, but just overall, if in general, 23 hasn't been a good year for me personally. Just career wise, looks pretty amazing, but personally has not. So it's caused me this last couple of weeks to really evaluate and appreciate the things I'm grateful for, and family and the relationships I have, that I still have, that I'm that I could have easily put wrestling sometimes too much first in my life and let that go away, but luckily enough, I'm kind of fixing all that and changing things around. But this podcast, you're all family. Being able to come on here and talk and share and and have fun and cut up and do things like that. That's helped. Like you said, hanging out with, being wrestlers was really cool, but being able to, all of us like having something special together, not just the weekly wrestling show, but we all had something that we were like a part of that we were happy about, and be able to see everybody like blossom and grow from it. I mean, look at the careers that so far that's taken off from Haley to Cash Flow to Freya to, those guys who's, and that's just 3 of them. That's not, there's so many more, that has happened. That things has took place, and then OVW in general with the growth that we've had, too as well. We look back. I mean, Eric, you and I pretty much started around the same time at OVW, right? We were at the same event, trying to get back in the groove of things, or actually me getting in. Both of us getting in. You getting in the groove of getting back in wrestling, I guess, for a period, and me getting into OVW period. It's like, it's amazing to see, like, we had this, man, OVW was, the heyday was great, and it could be that way again, but it, there would be ups and downs, but man, the ups right now are pretty freaking cool. And there's so much more to come. And, it's pretty exciting, man. I'm very, very blessed, to what I have in my life. Very, very blessed to have you guys in my life. Linda, we got to get you here more often, so that way, like this past weekend when me and Eric and others get to hang out, you should be there too. But yeah, man, that's kind of it. And I am it's definitely it's just so it's definitely a good time to be thankful, and I'm glad that and I'm just glad that we got good things to come for all of our personal life and career too. So excited for sure.
Very good, very good. And I know, and I don't want to speak for him, but with Jeremy not being here, I mean, he's kind of in the same boat. I mean, he's 100%. Had some ups and downs over the last couple of years, and it's always cool to have him as part of this family. And I know he would say the same thing.
Oh yeah, and I know he's definitely grateful for life, because I mean, there was a time when we didn't know what was going on with him health wise and stuff, and all the struggles he's been through too with his family. Like, it's I know for sure he's definitely I can't speak for him directly, like as you said to Eric, but I know he's definitely grateful for us, grateful for the show, grateful for life, grateful for his family, his wife, and things like that. So shout out to Jeremy. We miss you, buddy. I can't wait to maybe next week we'll make him do a grateful segment or something for us. So since he missed out.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, before we go a little further, let's kind of talk about one of our sponsors, and I always do this, and I jump ahead of the game before I'm prepared, but with the background music and everything. But hey, it's a I'm learning. One day I'll get it right. But let's give a shout out, Eric. Why don't you go? Actually, I'll go first here. With Collar and Elbow. That's right. When you go to collarandelbowbrand.com, use promo code Ringside, all capital letters, you save 10%. And you have the Ringside podcast out in process. We have some of the best wrestling apparel there is today at Collar and Elbow Brand. Get that mirror image. I was rocking that this week, as I usually always do, from Collar and Elbow. Collar and Elbow will be at WrestleCade. We'll talk a little bit about that. So if you're in the WrestleCade area, go check out the Collar and Elbow booth. But hey, if you're not going to be at WrestleCade, don't worry. You just go to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code Ringside and save 10%. Linda?
To make sure you are covered anytime, anywhere, make sure to go to ProWrestlingInsurance.com. Speak with our great friend Chris. Get your quote today on an affordable supplemental plan and coverage that will get a check made out to you should you get hurt. Yes, you would get paid if you look at it that way. If you get hurt, sure, regular health insurance will help lower the cost, but having this monthly affordable supplemental coverage, you can make sure you get some of that money back to you. So again, ProWrestlingInsurance.com. There is a link that you can click on directly in the show notes, but if you don't have access to that this moment, no worries. Just go to ProWrestlingInsurance.com. Get your quote today. Speak with Chris and tell him we sent you.
And you might call me a smooth operator today. Why? Because I used Manscaped today. Yes, I did. I'm not afraid to admit it. And I am definitely not afraid to admit that I love the Lawnmower 4.0 that is waterproof. because I didn't leave a mess all over the bathroom floor. Nope, left it in the shower, and right down the drain it goes. So waterproof, got the light on there to keep everything nice and in focus while you're doing your manscaping. And right now, the Lawnmower 5.0, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra Groin and Body Hair Trimmer is now available with the 5.0 Performance Package. So check that out too. Interchangeable blade heads on that one. More of a close shave than you've ever gotten before. So check out all the wonderful products at manscaped.com. Use the code REFEREE and you can save 20% and get free worldwide shipping. That is the code REFEREE at manscaped.com, and get all smooth just like me.
And lastly, we want to give a shout out to our partners at Cornbread Hemp. When you go to cornbreadhemp.com/ringside, takes you directly to our affiliate link. You can get some of the best CBD products out there, including the sleep gummies. I know that me and Eric just recently talked about how great we love the sleep gummies. And that's something you can enjoy too if you need a good night's sleep. Check them out. So many other great CBD products at cornbreadhemp.com. But guess what? When you use the promo code RINGSIDE, you're going to save 50% on your entire order. That's right, 15% on everything there. So go to cornbreadhemp.com, use that promo code, and save today. All right, guys.
Got on my Sport of Kings collar and elbow shirt today.
Oh, there you go.
Very nice.
Hey, yeah, you can get one of those at collarandelbowbrand.com.
Classic.
Promo code RINGSIDE. Yeah, for sure. All right. So, guys, we got a lot of things to talk about. Why don't we, before we go into talking about what's coming up, why don't we talk about what just happened, and that is Full Gear. A lot of big things happen at AEW's Full Gear. The big story coming out of that is the big signing that just happened. Now, it's kind of weird that they did a signing that can't officially happen until March, but it was a pretty cool thing. As somebody that I've been able to work with just a month ago, ladies and gentlemen, Will Ospreay is now All Elite starting in March. But he's now All Elite and signed an AEW contract, reportedly up to 3-year contract is what they're saying on the dirt sheets. So what's your take on that, Will Ospreay?
I didn't know you could do that. How do you even announce that? Isn't that contract tampering? I don't know how their contracts work.
Well, supposedly he got the blessing from New Japan to go have conversations and do what he wants, which makes it mean that I guess New Japan knew they weren't going to re-sign. They kind of knew he wasn't going to go, so I guess that they were, and that's good on them to be like, you know what, you're still with us until February, so why don't you go ahead and go negotiate or whatever. You got our blessing, and then if you want to announce who you're going with afterwards, you can, because I guess it just makes New Japan look great because their name's going to be mentioned in the talks, right? Mm-hmm. So why not?
I'm not trying to downplay the signing at all, but I don't take as much excitement into the signing when he's actually wrestled there before. You know what I mean? He's wrestled a bunch of different places, like you said. He just was with you guys not long ago. So I don't know. I mean, it's one of those announcements, that's an announcement. But either way, it was fine. I think that's where he would be best suited. I heard that there was some interest from WWE. But it would make sense him going to AEW, seeing that he's been there before. He's got people he's worked with there. So I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I mean, Will Ospreay, a familiar face to AEW. I've gotten to see the most of Will Ospreay, honestly, just through AEW, and big fan. Love what he's doing, love what he's bringing. And like you said, Daniel, the point I was going to bring up is it brings more eyes right now to New Japan. Like, kind of New Japan theme today. Yeah. So with this announcement, and I think it's a great move, and kudos to New Japan as well for letting this announcement happen quite prematurely, but it's allowed. Let's do it.
And he just recently made a comment. I mean, after his match with Josh Alexander, you can watch go back and watch this past week on Impact on Access TV. But he said, "Hey, I love TNA, and my goal growing up, it was a TNA match that made me become a fan and want to do it. So I want to do this in a TNA ring, which is I guess January officially will be a TNA ring, and if before his contract's up, there's a few opportunities for him to do that. So And I'm sure AEWs gave blessings for people coming back and forth. So maybe maybe we'll see Will Ospreay actually in a TNA ring before he's officially in an AEW ring, or whatever. But and we all got to we got to work a relationship with New Japan anyway. So it's one of those things that I believe is going to happen next year. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And let me tell you what, he's one of the best in the world. I mean, I've been in the ring with him, and it's pretty amazing. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And I don't want to downplay, like you were saying. I'm not trying to. I don't think it was as big of an announcement as we thought it was. I think it's more big of an announcement that he's still under contract with New Japan, that he signed. I think that's the big deal. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what he does. And I do believe that he's gonna. There's a lot of people to work with there. He's gonna put on some amazing matches with in the future, and he told Tony Khan to stack it up. Let's go. Give him. He wants the best against him to go against. So we'll see what happens there. Other things that came out of Full Gear, we see Tony, timeless Tony Storm, and win the title back and become the AEW Women's Champion.
I love it.
Yeah, I do too as well. We saw a new TBS women's champion, which is Julia Hart. Yeah,
that was my pick. I'm not surprised by that one.
Yeah,
it's so interesting what's going on between Julia and with Sky. So more to come with that as we can.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, no doubt. What a crazy a match between Swerve and Hangman Page. It's not, those kind of matches are really not my cup of tea. Although last man standing matches are important sometimes, but I mean, holy cow. Like I don't know what to say, man, but
I mean, I'm a fan of vampires, but I wasn't expecting to see some blood drinking during the match.
Yeah, that was a little. Here's what was funny. I was at a group of people meeting, and there was an area, and there was somebody there that was not a wrestling fan, but they're a wrestling fan over time, but they wanted to know. They were like, they were asking a question to somebody, and somebody goes, "Well, he's a referee," and they pointed to me, and then they were like, "Wait, you're a referee?" And as we get to talking, he ended up was like, "Recognized, way I know you from Impact or whatever." It was pretty cool, but we were chatting. And he was asking me about like the referees, like what a referee does. So I was telling him all that. And as we were talking during that match, he looks up and sees it, goes, "Oh my gosh." And I go, "What?" And I look up and I see, he goes, "What?" And he was like, and he literally goes, "That was, so this is like, I don't understand that." And I was like, and I was trying to explain what that was I just saw. So I don't know, but even somebody that's not a diehard knows AEW what it is, and not a diehard fan watches it. I guess you would call them the casual fan, watches periodically, does like it. They were just like, they were like kind of sick by it, and I go, well, I don't know if that was the idea or not. I mean, I don't know. Like it's definitely was interesting for sure. I don't. Hey, hopefully, we don't hear something weird coming out of this where somebody got sick or whatever. I don't know. Just something I would have never done. So let's put it that way.
Texas death match, eh?
Right.
I didn't watch the actual match. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to speak on it, but just, some people like it, some people don't.
No, and it's okay. I mean, I some of those times I don't mind it. I just, when you go to extreme, it's like, why go that extreme? But hey, if people liked it, that's all that matters. If there's somebody out there that loved it, and that's okay, because I don't have to love everything you put on the TV, even WB, Impact, AEW, OVW. I don't have to love everything you put on TV. I just gotta, I just want to be entertained, and I definitely was entertained, whether I was watching the movie Saw or what, you know what I mean? So, anyways,
well, let me rephrase. Maybe the blood was not drink. Maybe it was just placed into one's mouth and what?
Maybe.
So that's all.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. It was pretty cool to see, Edge in the face paint kind of gimmick. That was kind of cool. Or Adam Copeland. Sorry. That was pretty cool. And then we got to. I'm missing some things here, but then we got the. I'm going to talk about this because this was weird to me. Let me ask you a question. So I want to get your take on it. You have somebody that is not. They claim to get injured or they're injured and they're not medically cleared, right? Then you have somebody that's clearly not medically cleared in a cast, but decides to be the replacement, and they go out there. Everything was fine. They're standing in the ring, but then
they're going to let it happen.
They're going to let it happen. And then the person who was not medically cleared, that's not as bad off as the person in the ring in a cast, comes driving the ambulance down and comes down the ring and being stopped by every ref and security guard you can think of. No, don't do it. You can't go. You can't go. But you're just going to let the other dude just have the match? Like, look, I get it's supposed to be drama, but sometimes you got to use a little common sense. That's the only thing that it took me out of that moment.
I'm with you.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. I don't. That one, it doesn't make sense. Like it does. Like what? Like how? Like, and how are you going to come out on the main event of a pay-per-view and just say it's all right, match is canceled? I mean, it's all of it was a little weird. Like, I don't know.
And I get you're trying to make drama or whatever, suspension. I get all of that, but there has to be another way around it. I mean, you can literally even do the, that happens and there's no opponent, but yet he goes out there and be like, we're going to relinquish it. And then not before it's officially the main event, like before the what was the match before that? The girls, I think. The TBS
I think it was
title?
It was tag team match, wasn't it?
I think it was Jericho Omega.
Oh, Jericho Omega. Okay. That could be before that happens. You could do like he's going to have to relinquish the title or whatever, and he's, he's got it or whatever, and Tony, whatever happens, and then MJF says we're going to have this match, blah, 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 and he goes, and then you make it where, like, I don't know, it maybe happens there, and the main event is to be in the tag or something. You just, you have it instead. There's other ways to do that instead of like making it where it makes no sense. I'm a huge fan of movies that, it's all, superheroes flying around and all this stuff. And but there's always some kind of you go into that realm and there's always some kind of common sense in all of it. Yes.
Yeah.
A person shouldn't fly in the air because we can't do that. But however, in this world, that person's an alien or whatever, has special powers or got bit by a spider or whatever, and they can do this stuff. So that's the reasoning behind it. There's no reasoning behind one person not as hurt as the other person, but the person more hurt can wrestle, but the person not like that. You got to figure something out there.
So here's where I look at it. And I don't want to make this a tribalism thing because, too many people are like, I only like WWE or I only like AEW.
Right.
Here's the part of AEW trying to be the alternative where they fall short. When they do an angle that's a very WWE angle, and let's face it, this is something that, even with the ambulance coming back, the whole deal, that's a very WWE angle.
Right.
But this is where WWE does that stuff way better. It may be cheesy, but it's at least going to make a little bit of sense.
Right.
And they also don't typically do it as the main event of a pay-per-view.
Right.
Almost always their main event of a pay-per-view, at least goes off, it may something else may happen within the course of that main event, but at least the match goes to the ring. You know what I mean?
And I love the angle of him being not in the match and him still in the ambulance and coming back. That I love. I have no problem with that.
Seems like a TV angle leading up to a pay-per-view more than a pay-per-view main event.
I get that. I get it. But even as a pay-per-view, I'm okay with it. The only thing that I did not like, again, was why is Adam Cole in the ring? And then Britt Baker literally tweeted out herself, because, obviously that's her husband out there. She was tweeting out herself going, why is everyone trying to stop this one guy, but no one cares about what, and like she brought up, and I was like, did you tell this to TK? Like, did you go talk to him? Like,
Well, I saw a lot of this, obviously a way to have Adam Cole there, but as we were kind of saying, it could have just been, hey, the title's going to be relinquished or this match isn't going to happen. And then you still,
and Adam Cole could have represented,
Jay White come out Yeah, or he could have came out and be like, I'm going to defend my partner's honor. I'm going to do this. And then you have the officials and refs saying, no, you're not cleared. You can't.
Well,
and then MJF
not even that.
Like,
He could have. You're right. That could have happened, or he could have actually been. Look, I'm representing, holding the title. I guess if he unfortunately has to relinquish it, I'll be the one to, to hand it over or whatever it may be. Things like that. So I mean, there's other ways around. You could have done that, but anyways, bottom line is that they did it the other way, and we're nitpicking here. We're money more.
Well,
money,
I'm not done nitpicking because I mean,
oh, okay. All right. Go ahead.
and here's why. Here's why, because you already had other things wrapped up in this angle. You had the devil thing, which we didn't get resolution to. You had the fact that the title was stolen, and and he was trying to get it back. So that's its own. There's too many variables leading into this angle. And again, you can't do a WWE style angle better than WWE. You can't do it.
And what does Al Snow always say? You can only sell one thing at a time.
Exactly. And the whole stealing the title, I mean, that's so unbelievable anyway, that Jay White would have had it for so long, and MJF couldn't just go to management and go, he's got my belt. Yeah. Oh, here you go. Like, you get it back, or just have him make a new one. You know what I mean?
Well, but it's one of those things where it should be, if you're going to make it where he keeps having it, I mean, you can, he has it, MJF gets it, gets the title, something happens, and then, Jay takes it back again. It's like, what the, and it's more of it's driving him crazy. He keeps getting the title. And that's the other story you could have had where, hey, the titles, whatever, he's on, and then he comes out and go, I'm already the world champ. I have it. And then you can have, they need this is where you need that authority figure, not your Tony Khan. You need your whoever it may be. If you want to, you're like your SmackDown Nick Aldis, or your Raw, your Adam Pearce. You need that authority figure to be like, show up and go, no, or maybe it's Tony Schiavone, whoever you want to make it to be, come out there and say, no, this is it, and they grab it and they take it. No, and then they're, and that person could have had, if it was a wrestler, if it was somebody that's a former wrestler or whatever, could still work. You could have had something there, battle and fight and whatever, until here comes MJF, and he's like, well, MJF now is here. There's so much you could have done with that if you had those other things.
Right.
So
I've actually got a little bit of insight that I don't know that a lot of people saw, because I was just so close to the action. So when they were in Louisville a couple weeks ago, and they had that 4-on-4 match, for 2/3 of the match, that title belt sat in the corner of Jay White and Bullet Club Gold. Yeah. And so many times the match was like breaking down, and there were people, like, at one point MJF was so close to it, he could have just picked it up. Yeah. And I think they noticed that in production, because I saw the referee come over, say something to one of the Bullet Club guys and point. At that point, one of the guns grabbed the title and gave it to one of the security guards away from the ring, like over in the corner, and told him to hang on to it. So it's like, it's one of those things, like, if you don't think about what's happening here and how ridiculous it is, that how easy would it have been at some point for MJF to just go over and pick it up and go, this is mine, I'm taking it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
and what's crazy is they could have made that part of the match. Like, it's
right. And they didn't, but either way, like I said, too many stories. Yeah, the Al Snow, you can only sell one thing at a time, and we're selling way too much here. So that brings us back to the whole devil thing. Like, why did that not even get mentioned? Like, why was that not part of it? It looked like we were leading up to that, and we didn't get it.
I was expecting something more with that at Full Gear.
Yeah, and I actually really thought, and then at the end, like, you're seeing, you're walking up the ramp backwards and all this stuff, and you're like, oh, here we go, here comes the devil's coming out or whatever. We're gonna reveal all this stuff, and then nothing. And you're like, what? And I mean, if you want to go, I'm okay with going further with the story. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but I felt like this was the opportunity to do something with it, and they didn't. So I don't know, but again, maybe there's a thing down the line that we're gonna see and gonna be like, oh, okay, now I see why they did do it. I hope that's the moment. I mean, I've had that many times at WWE where I'm confused, like, why not now? And then all of a sudden, 2 months later, or a month later, or even a week later, something else happens. I'm like, Now it makes sense why this happened at the Rumble, or this happened at the X pay-per-view. You know what I mean, or whatever.
It would have made so much sense last night. Like I wasn't watching it live, but going back and knowing how everything worked, if Adam Cole gets in the ring with his injury and tries to fight, here comes the devil, and the devil's MJF.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But whatever.
And
More to come.
More to come. More to come. And January 1st, 2024, I think he's a free agent, right? Supposedly, MJF. So he
Bidding
talked
War
about
24. That. Here we go.
He talked about that in the media scrum while eating his pickles as well. So, but that's what happened there. I mean, there's probably other things to talk about that from Full Gear, but I'm going to leave it there for the most part on that. So, hopefully it's successful as far as buy rates and things like that. I know they've had trouble with ticket sales or whatnot, but hopefully they've done well enough on buy rates and whatnot that they was able to, to generate some more buzz for them with the Will Ospreay signing. As we're recording this, we got, and as this is premiering, we got Monday Night Raw here in just a little bit. We don't know. We're on the road, if we want to call it that, to Survivor Series this weekend coming up. There's the rumor and innuendo and the tease is that maybe Cody Rhodes' team is going to need another member off of that team, and maybe it just might be a Viper, somebody that comes, can do some stuff out of nowhere. What are your thoughts? And rumors are they've been back and cleared and at the Performance Center and whatnot. Do we see tonight? Do we see Randy Orton?
I think so. I mean, it's the go home Raw Survivor Series. The buzz is already around. If it is indeed Randy Orton, I think a lot of us would love to see that. It'd be nice to have something that a lot of us are expecting this past couple of days.
So the voices in your head, you're hearing voices in your head saying it's Randy Orton.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, they haven't officially added Drew to the team yet, but I think, based on the way Raw ended last week, I mean, you kind of have to think that that's what's going to happen. Here's the thing that I don't like, and this is just, again, there's just no reason to not like it. It's just a weird quirk I have. If you're going to have a War Games match that has 5 people in it, you can't have another War Games match on the same card that only has 4 people on the team. You know what I mean? That drives me crazy. That's happened on Survivor Series before where, you had all the teams were 5-on-5 and then you had one match that was 4-on-4, or you had one match that was even 3-on-3 because they kicked out like Sid and Jake the Snake, and it was a 3-on-3, and that drives me crazy. It's like, it's got to be, I don't care if you switch from year to year from 4 to 5, but on the same show, it's got to be even. And I don't think there's any way they have a 5th on the women's team because Dakota's still hurt, and who knows.
So question.
I mean, there's a possibility. We still have SmackDown on Friday, but
am I weird? Am I weird for saying that? I don't know why. It's a thing.
Question though. Do we see, say, Drew join Monday, and then they need somebody, and then we wait until SmackDown to hear their member because it's in the same city, or do we get both of them on Monday and then we have some other kind of schmoz or some other kind of thing happen,
or are they dumb enough to? Well, that's what I was gonna say. Are they dumb enough to wait till Saturday and then have everybody boo Orton when it's not CM Punk?
No. I don't think they think. I don't think there's going to be any teasing that it's. I don't know. You got a point. It is Chicago.
Maybe we won't see it. Who the final member on Cody's team would be till Friday, because it is a mix. So we did see Cody at the end of SmackDown last Friday as well. So there's not necessarily invasions right now, but there is that mixing, that intermingling, and maybe we do have to wait till Friday. Maybe what we get tonight on Raw is, yes, indeed, Drew has joined Judgment Day team. Not necessarily Judgment Day, but the Judgment Day team, and then we get to see who Team Cody gets. It is officially Team Cody, is that, or do we?
Or could it be this? Could we really be off here? Could Drew be teasing that, but yet Drew is lined up with Cody and them and like messing with the Judgment Day. Then Judgment Day says, screw it, and they get Orton. And Orton is the Viper. I mean, I like
I
Kill
don't
Orton.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm liking this Drew subtle turn right now.
Yeah, but
That is.
Yeah, we really did have a fun show Friday night. By the way, you mentioned that with Cody being there. I thought that was kind of neat. So we were in Evansville, and I want to thank our good buddy and friend of the show, Travis Sams, for hooking me up with some tickets. Even though he's getting ready to be a dad like any second now, so I want to thank him for that. But we had a good time, and Cody showing up and making the run in. They even had a dark match with Cody and Dominic and. So that was neat to see. It was a fun show. Now I've been to AEW at the Yum Center. Granted, the Yum Center is about twice as big as the Ford Center is, but I think there might have been more people at SmackDown, even in the small venue in the smaller city of Evansville. So, but it was a hot crowd. It was really good and a fun time. Some interesting matches. I thought it was kind of odd bringing Axiom up and giving him a long, good match with Dragon Lee. I thought that was kind of cool. It was weird and out of place for what SmackDown usually does. But I thought it was that match I felt was like very AEW like, to be honest with you. And maybe that's what they're going for. I don't know. But Dragon Lee, I think, is the next attempt at, again, somebody trying to take the throne from Rey Mysterio, which I think they've tried many times over the last 2 decades to find that, and they haven't yet. So maybe Dragon Lee's will be the one. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I was watching the bump this week, or maybe it was last week. Nick Aldis talking about having eyes on NXT, and you're bringing in Dragon Lee a little bit more on the big shows, and then you have Axiom getting this match. So maybe it's the touch of the new GM there on SmackDown.
You know what's something about new GM on SmackDown and all that stuff, and you mentioned NXT. We're probably we talked about earlier about contracts and things, and someone being a free agent on January 1st, MJF and AEW. But someone else that we kind of forget about, but I believe come 2024 they can magically appear on TV again and division.
Hold on, your mic
cable again.
Okay.
Oh, stop
It
right
stopped.
there.
You're good.
I didn't touch it, so I don't know. What'd you hear last? Sorry.
It's coming back.
Hold on.
Hold
that thought.
Yes, I know who he's talking about now. Yeah, no, I think I know who he's talking about, but as somebody else closely associated with the War Games, I do believe who he is making reference to. But yeah, so we may end up with the general manager of NXT before too long, and I think that's the plan. I think they've tried to work that way and get Shawn Michaels away from kind of being that authority figure and have somebody else new. But why not have somebody that has been there before? If that's who Daniel's talking about. I don't want to spoil who he was talking about. But maybe he'll come back. Hopefully he'll get his audio issues figured out. But
all right, is it back?
Oh, there he is. I was going to say while we were waiting, I wanted to mention the whole Santos Escobar promo and everything happening with that, and him and Ray now going to be out apparently for months. That's a huge thing that was unveiled at SmackDown as well. I'm interested in that storyline and just all the variables with that.
I was teasing the one and only William Regal will be able to be back on that. So yes,
I thought you were. Yeah,
that's where I was going. He will be soon be able to be back on because he had a 1-year non-complete on TV calls or whatever, but he's able to work back to be. So that 1 year's up. And I don't know if they do something with Michael's taking moving out and him coming in, or Michael's is like, I can't do this. I need help. I don't know. There has to be a story angle. I would assume that just magically appears up on the screen. But anyways, yeah. So I was getting into that, and then I know you wanted to talk about Escobar and all that stuff. So it's okay. I just wanted to. Unfortunately, my mic. I don't know. I can't. This new mic. This new. I need this new cord soon. Drive me crazy. Anyways. So. we got that. I want to give a shout out to WrestleCade. I was there last year. I might make an appearance this year. I'm not sure yet. But WrestleCade's going to be this weekend. Get a lot of OVW talent, and others going to be there. Pretty cool. That's another Thanksgiving tradition, that WrestleCade weekend. And then, speaking of Thanksgiving, speaking of things, and we talked a little bit about it earlier, but kind of like, let's break down, since we are the official podcast of OVW, let's break down this one and only Thanksgiving Thunder that's going to be live tomorrow. As you're hearing this, if you're hearing, guys, if you're watching this later, go back and watch it on live on Fight TV, YouTube, wherever, or on demand, I guess, not more than live. But Thanksgiving Thunder, the OVW tradition that is on a Tuesday night, and some great matches and great things involved, including the NWA World's titles on the line, as well as the OVW National Heavyweight title in a title match, EC3 versus Jesse Goddard.
That's right. Yeah.
And we got some other things. Eric, you want to talk about some more?
Yeah, absolutely. Not only is that our big main event, but you want to talk about the match that's going to have a whole lot of meat in it. And we're talking about the triple threat tag team match for the OVW Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. You got the Overmen of Luke Curtis and Joe Mack defending their titles, not only against Beaches and Cream, Omar Amir and Luscious Lawrence, but also Cashflow and Mahabali Shira. The stipulation is yet to be named, but because of the match and the win of the Overmen this past week, they get to choose the stipulation. I guess we'll find that out tomorrow night. But I do want to give kudos. We saw that big captain's match, which was quite chaotic, Daniel. I want to give you big credit for your role in that match, because you had your hands full, my friend.
I did have my hands full. I threw some people out. They try to come back in, and every time I try to throw the match out and throw them out, I look over as a pin, so I just got to cover it and take care of. And Shira doing some crazy. I don't look those guys. I'm kind of over it. Those guys. If I get assigned their match, come this week, or come Thanksgiving Thunder, I feel like I'll probably just throw the thing out because I'm sick of them. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Well, I gotta apologize a little bit. So we were doing renovations in the arena like right up until we opened the doors.
Yeah, we
this
were.
week.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the sledgehammer that they had used to knock down one of the walls was just sitting out there. I was like, well, I better get rid of this real quick, and I just put it under the ring, where as you do. And I think that's what started all the chaos with Shira grabbing it. So I apologize. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to kick me out at one point. You kicked everybody else out. I'm like, okay.
You didn't. If you would have got up on the apron, I probably would have. We got close by at least, because I was, and what was great about it was, I saw Shira with the sledgehammer. I was telling, Luscious to get out of the ring. He wasn't listening, and I was like, okay. And then Shira comes with a sledgehammer, so because he had a sledgehammer, I had to throw him out. And then Luscious is, he didn't listen to me. Clearly, he was standing in the ring, and I was like, you already tried to get involved in the match earlier. So I was like, oh, no, he's gone. And Joe Mack's on the apron and, laughing and thinking he was having a good time, and he thought it was great. Nope, he's gone. And
so Shannon was just for fun.
Shannon,
right?
yeah.
I mean, come on.
Shannon did jump on the apron.
Good.
He did jump on the apron too, but you know what? I thought, why the hell not? Right? Like, I
started looking at his face.
Yeah.
Out you go.
Yeah. So I got rid of him, and yeah, you're right. If you were standing around, I probably would have threw you out too, and threw Linda out, and threw Brian Kinnison. I mean, why not? Right?
Just everybody out. Everybody out. But okay, so the good news is you will have at least one break during this, because another big match that was announced this past week, you've got Freya the Slayer. You've got Hollywood Haley J, #1 contender for the OVW Women's Championship, and who will be the referee? Not Daniel Spencer, but the Women's Champion herself. Mm-hmm. That is right. Tiffany Nieves will be the referee, and if she does not call it right down the middle, well, Al Snow says she's stripped of the title and she's fired.
Well, at first it was funny. Like, I reached out to her and said, you need some tips, and she was like, no, I got this, whatever. And then I said, okay, just make sure you call it down the middle. We don't want you to get fired. She goes, and then now she's asked me for some advice. So I was like, okay. So I decided to give her a couple pointers, and but I can't honestly. She just got a referee license for one night. So I am giving her as much information. I mean, she asked me more questions, but she said she's after the advice I gave her, she has said to me, I'm good. I think I got it. So I'm just stepping back now because she's okay and she thinks she's got it. I'll definitely be watching though to make sure that everything is called down the middle. I'm sure Al will as well, and we'll see what happens in that match. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be wild.
I wouldn't have offered her any help. Did you hear? She was saying some derogatory things about me, and she didn't even remember my name. I've known her for 3 years. She knows my name. I heard her on the broadcast just running me down. Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't need
I didn't hear
I've
that.
got
I'm sorry. I wouldn't have bought it. But but also it sucks. It's kind of my job. I do have to make sure.
listen.
They know.
I've got enough people running my name down, especially that jackass that we talked about last week, Adam Revolver. Thankfully, yeah, I said it. Thankfully, he has been suspended, so he will not be there.
Yes.
Will not be there at Thanksgiving Thunder. So we had to come up with a new number one contender. We had a lot of people vying for that spot, but member of Level X, Will Austin, comes out on top. He will be facing Cal Hero for the title tomorrow night at Thanksgiving Thunder. So that should be exciting. And then, of course, also announced the big tag team match as Jay De Niro and the Kentucky heavyweight champion, Mr. Hush, Tony Evans, going to be taking on Star Rider and Manny Domingo, a.k.a. Jota Pesos.
Anyway, we're getting Manny Domingo for this match, though.
Are we getting Manny Domingo? Good. Because he's having some fun. But the fun this week kind of cost him a little bit of heartache in the match. They won the match, which was good. Yeah. But with Shotgun Tony Gunn, as we head into this final match that we're going to talk about, Shotgun Tony Gunn getting the pin over the OVW heavyweight champion, Jack Vaughn. Will that happen again tomorrow night? We'll see.
Well, if it does, then the national anthem will once again will be strong in OVW because Tony Gunn, Shotgun Tony Gunn, will be your OVW heavyweight champion if that's the case. And yeah, we'll see what there's a lot of this is a big show. It's pay-per-view worthy, but it's a TV special, which is why it's called Thanksgiving Thunder. So it's definitely you're going to get it for free and you should be paying for it. So that's the beauty behind OVW television. As you get it for free live on YouTube, live on Fight TV, live on WBNA if you're locally here in Louisville. But you get to interact with fans and some of the OVW staff if you watch it on YouTube, and you get again, you don't. The commercial breaks. The action doesn't go away. You get to see Eric talking or Linda talking, and you get to see the matches happen, and you get to see a lot of things that you don't get to see unless you're live in the arena. Which come on to the arena. And by the way, again, ovwrestling.com. Use promo code ringside, save 20% on your tickets for that. All right, guys. Well, I feel like we've talked enough. I really don't know. I know this is kind of a grateful week and thankful week. We allude to as we're getting ready for everything. Hopefully next week we will be back at our normal scheduled time, but hopefully next week we will have say another special guest, or maybe the special guest we're supposed to have, or maybe we'll have a surprise guest. I don't know. We maybe we'll announce it, maybe we won't. But we will have Jeremy back, that's for sure. And if you missed him or didn't miss him, if you didn't miss him, then oh well. But if you missed him, he'll be back next week. Guys, any final thoughts? Anything else you want to say before we start plugging everything?
Just excited for the week.
Yeah.
Excited to be back. So yes, I will be back in Louisville for Thanksgiving Thunder. So I'm stoked in seeing you guys in person as well. And of course, all the great fans there at Davis Arena to, again, the extended OVW family, and excited for Survivor Series. I mean, it's one of my favorite pay-per-views, and I'm just thrilled to see what can come. Perhaps some surprises taking place the night of or leading up. So this week is huge in that regard as well. And of course, just for Thanksgiving. And thank you everyone for watching. Hope everybody has a safe and happy Thanksgiving as well.
Well said. And I only wish that like WWE would bring back the little vignettes at the beginning with everybody saying what they're thankful for. You know what I mean? With Hulk Hogan thankful for all the power of Hulkamania, and Ultimate Warrior thankful for whatever he was talking about, and Jake the Snake being thankful for Damien and the DDT. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I want that back, WWE. I want Dominic to come on and I'm thankful for mommy. Something like that.
Mhm.
That'd be
Give
cool.
it to
But
us.
let's just steal it and do it at OVW. Why not?
Let's do it. Yeah, I want to do it.
Why
Hey,
not?
I'm calling production right now.
There you
Hey.
go. All right, guys, don't forget, go to callinelbrand.com. Use promo code ringside, save 10% on that. You can also go to cornbreadhemp.com. Use promo code ringside and save 50% on all your CBD products there. I don't have the other one, but we do have Manscaped. Manscaped.com, promo code referee, save 20% in free shipping. And there's going to be a link in the bio and everything, but you can go to prowrestlinginsurance.com, get a quote today from Chris, and that we appreciate you supporting all of that. I know we also have a sponsor or supporter for getting your championship belts. I don't know if that information is more Jeremy's thing, so it will be in the show notes. So go look at that if you're looking for a championship belts and mention Ringside, and they'll give you I think it's 15% off that as well. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and all podcast platforms wherever you listen to us, whether it's a video or the audio version or both. Subscribe, that way you never miss a show, especially like this when we just pop up on a Monday and not our normal time on Tuesday due to Thanksgiving Thunder. Follow us on the X, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, YouTube at Ringside Podcast. On there, individually on Twitter and Instagram, I'm at Daniel Spencer.
I'm at Eric on the air, and you can also find me at prowrestlingtees.com/OVW Eric to get all the merch there, or shop OVW.com.
Yeah. And you know what? Real quick before, Linda, you plug your website. Yes, prowrestlingtees.com/Daniel Spencer. Right now, and I know Eric's part of this too. If you go to Pro Wrestling Tees, there is up to 50% off on all different items. I think mine is 20. I think Eric's is 20 as well. But
Yeah.
hey, I got 2 new shirts. I just debuted this week. Eric's got a few he's debuted over the last month or so. So go to prowrestlingtees.com, do that. And then, yes, you can also go to shopovw.com, get yourself merchandise from Eric and me, as well as all your other OVW superstars. But I don't think you save 20% on that, but you will save 20% on Pro Wrestling Tees. Sorry, guys. That's the way it is. That's what's going on right now with and no promo code needed. Just a early Black Friday special for that. So, Linda, by the way, where can I get your stuff?
I was going to say, just the season. I mean, we're mentioning the new shirts. I too have, my Are You Ready t-shirts, but also now available in different colors. You can find that at my shop at lovelylindak.com. On Instagram, I'm at LindaKPWR. Twitter, LK22. But also, in regards to that shop, I know, Eric, we've been kind of chatting about this and just some nice ideas, some stocking stuffers perhaps, but you can pre-order your 2024 Linda Calendar. That's in the works, but you can go on to my shop at lovelylindak.com and get set for your holiday shopping for yourself or for your friends and family.
All right, guys. We appreciate you listening, watching, however this may be. Thank you for bearing with us as we're change things up this week due to Thanksgiving Thunder. But again, we'll be back at our regular scheduled time, same bat channel next Tuesday, and same bat friends as Goon Jeremy will be back to host the show there as we're leading closer to episode 200 coming up soon. On the For Ringside Podcast. In the meantime, but between time, until next time,
we'll catch you ringside.
And I'm thankful for being absolutely perfect.
See ya.